Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. So today we are going to do the last part of the chapter. First we studied about the difference between physical and chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Next we studied about extraction of metals, about the different processes which are followed for extracting metals, then the properties of ionic compounds, and today the last topic is corrosion. Okay. Now what is corrosion? You had been learning this since your earlier classes. Corrosion is rusting. In short, it is called as rusting. Rusting is a chemical reaction in which a particular metal reacts with some gas or any other compound in the atmosphere, okay, to form a coating on that metal which could destroy that metal, okay, which could be destructive to that metal. That is called as corrosion. I have written the definition of corrosion here. The process of slow degradation of metals due to attack of atmospheric gases, moisture, acids, etc. on the surface of metals is called as corrosion. We had studied about corrosion in chapter 3 also. You may revise that also. Now on page number 106, heading corrosion of metals. What is meant by corrosion? I have written the definition. Have you seen the following things? Old iron bars of buildings, copper vessels not cleaned for a long time, silver ornaments or idols exposed to air for a long time. Okay, you might have seen the copper articles get a greenish coating, silver articles become blackened due to usage or after several days if it is kept in open. Why do silver articles turn blackish while copper vessels turn greenish on keeping in air for a long time? The answer is there in the points below, the second point and the third point. The second point is about copper articles and third point is about silver articles. The first one is about iron. Okay, now here you may see iron will react with oxygen in the atmosphere to form iron oxide, which is rust. It is Fe2O3.H2O. The molecular formula of rust is an objective question. The color is red. Okay, so this is about iron articles. The copper articles, if it is kept for several days, actually it reacts with oxygen and forms a copper oxide layer. That copper oxide reacts with carbon dioxide to form copper carbonate, which is green in color. That is why the copper articles become greenish in color after if it is kept for several days. This process is called as patination of copper. Okay, instead of rusting, they use the word patination. Third is about silver. Silver articles react with hydrogen sulfide gas, okay, with hydrogen sulfide gas to form silver sulfide, which is black in color. Okay, that is why silver ornaments get blackish after some days. Next is about aluminium. Aluminium vessels, if it is used for several days, you might have observed your cookers in your homes. Cooker, okay, it gets a blackish coating after several days. That is because aluminium reacts with steam or aluminium reacts with oxygen to form aluminium oxide, which is blackish in color. That is why it gets a black coating. Okay, now these four give reasons are very important. It is asked as give reason questions. Now we may move on to the next. Page number 106, prevention of corrosion. Which measures would you suggest to stop the corrosion of metallic articles or not to allow corrosion to start? So what can we do if to prevent corrosion? There are several methods. In short, in common, there are two methods. First is to fix a layer of some substance on the metal surface, to keep a coating, to give a coating of some other metal or some other substance on the metal surface so that it doesn't come in contact with the gas in the atmosphere, so it does not react with the moisture and gas in the atmosphere. Okay, second is by applying a layer of paint, oil, grease or varnish. Okay, this is also to prevent its contact with the moisture and gases in the atmosphere. So basically the principle is to prevent the contact of the particular metal to come in contact with the moisture and other gases or acids in the atmosphere. Now, there are several methods. Page number 107, use your brain power question. Can we permanently prevent the rusting of an iron article by applying a layer of paint on its surface? No, you cannot prevent that. You cannot prevent it permanently. Why? Because some scratches could occur on that surface, and as soon as there is a scratch on that particular surface, the iron becomes open. Okay, the iron surface becomes open, due to which it will react with oxygen in the atmosphere and get corroded. The answer is there in the first paragraph. We cannot protect the articles permanently from rusting by painting them. The method of painting is suitable for short time. If there is a scratch on the paint on the surface of the article, and if there is a small surface if a small surface comes in contact with the air, the process of rusting starts below the layer of the paint. This is the answer. The complete paragraph you have to write. It is a very important question. Why do new iron sheets appear shiny? Okay, some iron sheets are given a coating of zinc, due to which it appears to be shiny. You might have seen the pins which you get, tachni, you tell it in Marathi. Okay, you call it in Marathi tatsni. Okay, the needle. Okay, the pinpoint needle. That needle which is used, you may see that it is having a shiny surface. Actually, they are made up of iron. It is given a coating of zinc to protect it from corrosion. But if you keep it for several years like that only, okay, as it is, then what will happen? It will get corroded because the covering of zinc will get removed. Okay, now we will see the different methods. The first method is galvanization. Now, what is galvanization? It is the process in which a particular metal is given a coating with zinc. That zinc is more electropositive than iron. Iron articles are given a coating with zinc. So if there is any substance which is going to react with iron, then zinc will react first before iron, because zinc is more electropositive than iron. So a coating of zinc is given, particularly zinc. Okay, zinc is given. That process is called as galvanization. Okay, you could get a short note on about galvanization. Now the next is tinning. Tinning is the process in which a particular vessel, for example a copper vessel, is given a coating of tin. Okay, it is given a coating of tin. This tin protects the particular substance inside. For example, if you pour milk or curd into copper vessel, it will become poisoned due to the reaction of that particular substance inside and copper. So to prevent that, it is given a layer of tin. That process in our language, it is called as kalai. Okay, it is called as kalai dene. It is called as kalai dene. Okay, that means the copper vessel, it is given a coating of tin from inside. It protects the copper, it protects the food inside from becoming spoiled. Okay, now this is a method which was followed in earlier days also. In earlier days, they used to use copper vessels. You might have seen in serials, in TV, they used to use copper vessels, and those copper vessels used to have a coating from inside. That coating was of tin. Okay, now that is the next process. Now the next process is anodization. Anodization is to give a thick layer of oxide on the metal. If it is aluminium, give a coating of aluminium oxide. If it is copper, give a coating of copper oxide. Now during this process, this is an electrical process which is done, which is taken in a vessel. In that vessel, the particular liquid is taken, electrolyte is taken, which has to be which will react. Okay, and the object which you have to get the coating with, that means if you want to get the coating on a tawa, okay, chapati tawa, then you have to keep that chapati tawa as the anode. How will you make it an anode? By connecting it to positive terminal of the cell. You have to take a tawa, you have to connect it to an electrode and connect it to the positive terminal of the supply, that is cell. Okay, it will become an anode, and this vessel, the wall of the vessel, will act as a cathode. Now during that reaction, okay, what is happening? This object, that tawa, will get a coating of aluminum oxide. You might have seen anodized tawa, anodized dosa tawa, anodized cookers, okay, in the market. You might have seen it is having a blackish coating because aluminum oxide is blackish in color. Okay, so this is about anodization. Now the next is electroplating. Okay, electroplating is a process of giving the plate of, the plate means the covering, the coating of another metal on a metal. Okay, it is done by giving a coating of less reactive metal on a more reactive metal. Okay, a less reactive metal is coated on a more reactive metal. Now how is it done? You may see in the diagram the object which has to be coated, it is kept as the cathode, and the less reactive metal on which the coating is to be given, it is kept as the anode. Okay, so what will happen? That less reactive metal won't react. For example, copper article is coated with silver. Silver does not react easily, it is a noble metal. So silver does not react, gold does not react. So as they do not react, it is nearly impossible for the iron inside or for the metal inside to come in contact with the gases in the atmosphere. This process is done by electrolysis process. That is why it is called as electroplating. So the question could be asked, during electroplating, the object which has to be coated is kept as dash. Okay, it is kept as cathode, whereas in case of anodization, you may see the object which is to be coated, it is kept as anode. You may note this in your textbook. It could be asked as a true or false question or an objective type question. Okay, so that is electroplating. You might have seen silver coated spoons, silver coated ornaments, gold plated ornaments, not of gold but plated with gold. Okay, so this is about electroplating. Now the next process is alloying. Now what is an alloy? Alloy is a homogeneous mixture of a metal and a non-metal, or two or more metals. What is done? Consider we have to make an alloy of bronze. What you have to do? You have to take copper, you have to take tin, you have to melt it. Okay, you have to take 90% melted copper and 10% melted tin. You have to mix it in that particular proportion and you will get the alloy which is bronze. Okay, so what is the most important property of bronze or alloy? It does not get corroded. Okay, they generally do not get corroded. That is the most important property of alloying. So alloying is a method to prevent corrosion. So what is an alloy? It is a homogeneous mixture of two or more metals or one metal and a non-metal. You have to learn the examples. Basically the examples which are given in the textbook. First one is bronze, which is having 90% copper and 10% tin. Stainless steel, which is an alloy of 74% iron, 18% chromium and 8% carbon. Okay, so this is about the methods which are used to prevent corrosion. The questions could be asked on the methods also and what is meant by corrosion also, and these points. Okay, iron reacts with oxygen, silver with hydrogen sulfide, aluminum with oxygen, copper with carbon dioxide to form copper carbonate. The colors also could be asked. One more question which could be asked is what is meant by patination of copper. Okay, these are the several questions. Now on page number 108, do you know point is there, when one of the metal in an alloy is mercury, then the alloy is commonly called as amalgam. Okay, For example, sodium amalgam has sodium and mercury. Zinc amalgam has zinc and mercury. Okay, so if one of the metal is mercury, it is said to be an amalgam. This is an objective question. Silver amalgam was earlier used by dentists. Gold amalgam is used for extraction of gold. Now below that there are two questions. These questions were asked in some of the schools since last 2 years. Okay, what are the various alloys used in daily life? Where are those used? The different alloys which we use. The first main alloy which we use is of gold and copper. The ornaments which we use, it is an alloy of gold and copper. Okay, next is gold and silver is also used, and stainless steel. Even this is an alloy which we daily use. What are the properties that the alloy used for minting coins should have? Okay, coins. For minting coins, alloys are generally used. Okay, what are the properties? First of all, it should be corrosion resistance. Okay, it should have corrosion resistance. It should be bright in color. It should be hard. It should be having the property of malleability. It could be beaten into coins. It has to be beaten into coins, isn't it? Okay, coins, you know, they are in the form of sheets, circular sheets. So this property it should be having. What are the properties? I repeat, first, corrosion resistance, second, bright in color, third, hard, fourth, malleability. Okay, so this is about chapter 8, a very important chapter. Generally questions from the exercise are also asked. So this chapter is having a good weightage of about 6 marks. Okay, 4 to 6 marks. It has to be studied according to the textbook only. If you write your own points, you won't get marks. So you may read the textbook. If you are not getting any point, you may ask. Thank you.